All right, welcome in everybody. It is Tuesday night. We were supposed to be live from Swayze, but it's unfortunately raining. We're going to do our first episode ever from a live baseball game and talk to the man himself, Jake Brown from Louisiana State University. How you doing tonight?
Hey, I'm good. Thank you for having me. It's an honor to be here.
Absolutely, man. It is an honor for us to have anybody from LSU. We love talking baseball. Got my brand new Bear Jones shirt on from the Athletic Collection. But before we get your story, we got to break the ice. Being that you're from down there, got to know what's your favorite Cajun dish?
Oh, that's a good one. My dad, he's always a cook. Props to him. I think I got to go towards a pasta laya, or like you never go wrong with like a crawfish or shrimp etouffee. And them not being far from home, they're bringing food up to me almost every weekend that we play.
That's what up. So shout out to Pops and definitely I'm definitely with you on those answers. Got to get some of that pasta when I'm down there.
Right.
If you could go see any musician, dead or alive, anywhere, who are you going to see? Where are you going?
Oh, I would have loved to go to the Queen concert at Live Aid. Uh, Got an out of the box pick, but I'm a huge Queen fan, huge fan of rock music, and so that would have been awesome.
Yeah, no doubt. Solid that and what I love is this is why we like to get to know players. I would have never known that about you. I wouldn't expect you to pull something old school out. So it makes me appreciate you that much more. Especially, everybody listens to this new age stuff. You taking it back. So I dig it. All
Let's
right.
go.
Same thing. Athlete, and normally we say active athlete, but since we took it back on music, any athlete ever in any place, who you going to see? Now this opens up a wide array, especially you being a baseball guy. And you don't have to pick baseball, but man, I can only imagine where you might go with this question.
Well, I had the pleasure of going and seeing LeBron James on New Year's Eve this past year when they played in New Orleans. So I think I'd have to go to the counterpart. I need to be able to answer the GOAT debate. So I want to go see Michael Jordan play probably sometime in like 1993.
I love it. Yeah, that is, man. Talk about there are people who have done that, like covering NBA, and we sit here and do that debate, but there's people who have actively gotten to do that, and you know, how do we never hear those guys, Jake? We always hear one or the other. Where's the guy who got to do both, and we can get it from so we don't have the old school versus new school. Give me the guy who covered both and let him answer the question. But the thing about it, one way or the other on the GOAT debate, they're the two best, no matter who you have one or two, and you have to appreciate them both. That's one of the things I have to do as a Michael Jordan guy. We started this show with the Last Dance, breaking it down, and sometimes I get caught up defending Jordan so much, I kind of talk bad about LeBron, and sometimes I have to just take a step back and remember, like, LeBron is that dude. Just because he's not Jordan to me doesn't mean I got to take away from him.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, it would have been awesome. I know if I could have had the pleasure to watch Michael Jordan, just such a competitive freak. And I mean, at that time, there was not a close number two in the game of basketball. It was Michael Jordan and everybody else.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's one of the beautiful parts, and we're fixing to get into your story and talk about LSU baseball. I feel like this last year getting to cover LSU baseball and be there for the whole ride. Like I have guys that I'm going to be able to, my kid was there, so I don't have to tell my kid, but whether I tell my grandkid or he's the one that tells them and on down the line, like we didn't just see a great team, we saw elite greats on the team. Like, I mean, top to bottom. Like, I mean, just I may not see another team like LSU's team when you look at talent wise was last year, and that's one of the cool things you don't want to take for granted. How many people might take for granted going to see LeBron now, or how many people back then took for granted seeing Jordan, right? Like, you think about Kobe when he passed, right? I started thinking about how many times I had seen Kobe, and I thought, man, I probably didn't appreciate him enough.
Right. Yeah, I get that 100%.
So let's get into your story, man. Where exactly in Louisiana are you from?
I'm from Sulphur, Louisiana, which is not far from Lake Charles, if you know where that's at. And
I do, but a lot of listeners that aren't LSU fans may not. So tell it was for them to know geographically where Lake Charles is, relevant to Baton Rouge.
we're Southwest Louisiana. I mean, if you weren't from Louisiana, you could call it East Texas. But so yeah, really right on the border of Texas, Southwest. It's about 2 hours away from Baton Rouge, so not super far.
And that's why Pops is able to bring the dishes over because it's a nice little. I love that about LSU players, man. So many of the families that are there, and you got players that are local and able to just, man, make the quick drive over, especially when y'all have those early games. that started like 4 or 5. It's not as hard to get over there. Um, speaking of family, man, talk to me. You got brothers, sisters, mom, dad. Who we got in the household?
It's just mom, dad, and me, and a very young 4-year-old lab.
So you're a spoiled child. That's what we're hearing here because that's usually what happens when it's just one of y'all.
Words didn't come out of my mouth, but yeah.
I hear you. So, growing up, a lot of times it is mom and dad. Sometimes it's a coach. Sometimes it's an athlete. Growing up, who was an inspiration to you when it came to playing sports?
It was always my parents. Mom and dad, they were both college athletes. They played baseball and softball at McNeese State, which is a college in Lake Charles. So, growing up, they always kind of knew what it was like. So they were always great role models because they had been there. They knew what it took to get there. And so they were my rocks since day one.
So, growing up, did you get taken to McNeese games? Because I imagine them being alumni, they were probably fans of the program.
Oh, yeah, 100%. It was really almost every home game we were there.
I mean, it's a very solid program. We've had a couple years ago we had Peyton Harden on from there, and we actually talked about the history. McNeese State is definitely under the radar when it comes to how good of athletics they got. So not a school to sleep on at all.
But yeah, for sure.
So where did you go to high school at?
I went to high school at Sulphur High School, not Barb.
Not Barb. So you didn't go with Gavin Guidry, is what you're saying. Um,
I know,
so
but I've known Gavin my whole life, so it's awesome. We've like growing up, we were playing against each other all the time. So now that we're on the same team, it's a lot nicer than playing against him.
And that was right where I was going to go. Man, it's like you segued perfect. A lot of times we talk to guys from different areas, and the high school baseball scene is not very good, right? It's really just all about travel ball, but that's not the case in Louisiana. When you talk about Barb and Catholic, and man, y'all actually got really good high school baseball. So talk about what you were able to get from playing high school baseball in Louisiana and actually playing talent like. Whereas you come from some areas, man, it's like playing rec league teams.
I mean, it's a real competitive boost. So it's not like you're playing against nothing and then all of a sudden you're in the SEC and you're learning how to compete, learning how to deal with failure. It's it's almost like playing baseball in Southwest Louisiana got me ready for college baseball just because we were facing good talent. We were having to compete. And software, we were always pretty good year in, year out while I was there. And so really having the chance to go and try to win it all, win a state championship, it kind of fuels you with a drive, and that's needed here, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. So, as far as accolades, you were ranked as the number one overall player in the state of Louisiana by perfect game, number 18 ranked left-handed pitcher in the nation by perfect game, voted the 2023 Gatorade Louisiana Baseball Player of the Year, posted a 10-2 record on the mound for Sulphur with a 1.71 ERA. Also batted 336, 7 home runs, 26 RBIs, 20 stolen bases. Y'all had a 34-5 record. First team All States honoree and two-time district MVP, also a member of USA Baseball, which we're going to get into. Most people forget, Jake. I read this off because they're watching LSU right now. I think people might forget just what you are on the mound and what you did on the mound. Talk about pitching in high school, man, the success level you had, just how much fun, was high school. I mean, when you read stats like that and you have success like that, I imagine playing baseball in high school, man, had to be a heck of a time.
It was a blast, yeah, and not really as much for the success. Like obviously succeeding is a great, like I love it, but just growing up and playing with the same guys that I've known my whole life, like that's something that really will stick with me, and like you can't take that for granted, really. Like now that I'm gone, like obviously don't get me wrong, I love the guys that I play with now. These guys are my second family, but you can't take for granted the time that you spend with the people you grew up with, and playing with them was incredible. Loved it, loved every second of it, and then going out there and succeeding made it all the much better.
Yeah, and when you're playing at that level, even though you're trying to win and it is serious, you're more of a kid then, man. When you get to the SEC, like, it's you're supposed to just be a freshman, but it gets serious real fast. And while the game is still fun, it comes at you fast and you don't get to enjoy it as much. So I appreciate what you're saying, man. You go back to the time with your best friends and you you really get to enjoy the game and have fun. Kind of gives you that whole Sandlot vibe and feel. Um,
Like,
but talk about experience, man. You got to go play for Team USA, the 18U team. Man, first, what does it mean for you just to wear the red, white, and blue itself?
it's huge for me. I mean, my grandpa was in the Navy, so he served for the country, and I think I got to play for Team USA shortly after he passed. It was only about a month, so that made it that much more worthwhile for me and meaningful. Like wearing those three letters across my chest, it'll be hard to find something in life that beats that.
Yeah, absolutely. And man, shout out to him, I as well, veteran of the Navy. Um, one of my favorite questions about when you get to play for a team like that is the guys that you meet that maybe you're going to play against. You build these relationships and bonds, and it makes it that much more fun when you get to go against these guys. Is there any guys in particular that maybe you made friends with and maybe you knew already at Team USA that you're going to get to go against this year?
Yeah, there's definitely a few. Freshman Gavin Grahovic at Texas A&M. He was kind of a staple on our team, as well as Camden Kojiel, who's playing right now at Vanderbilt. RJ Hamilton's playing at Vanderbilt. Dylan Cupp is playing at Mississippi State. So those are all guys that I had the pleasure of playing with, and now I have the pleasure to go compete against. So I'm really excited for that.
Yeah, absolutely. And that just speaks to the SEC, right? I mean, you're naming off guys who are on Team USA and they're all going to be in the SEC making an impact. So you were drafted in the 16th round by Texas. For you, I imagine, I could be completely wrong. I feel like it was always going to be go to college and play LSU, but was there any real consideration to possibly forego college and go pro?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, every kid baseball player's dream is to play professional baseball someday, and ultimately it came down to the money one, but also like is the best step in my career to go to LSU, be part of a winning culture, further learn how to compete, grow up a little bit. Cause like throwing an 18-year-old kid onto a professional baseball field, like that's a big step. And I think coming to LSU is really the foundation to building a player that's ready to play big league baseball. And that was really I guess, that's the reason that brought me here. Because I think it's best for my career and I think really anyone else's career.
Yeah, and I mean, if you look at obviously, people are going to see the blueprint that Dylan Cruz left behind, but if guys like you and Cam Johnson who decided to come, and if this year plays out the way I hope it does for LSU, and obviously you guys do, like, I mean, I don't know any kid who's going to say, hey, man, look at Jake Brown, look at Cam, look at Dylan, look at all these guys. Hey, they're going to LSU winning national championships, building their stock up. I think that's what I want to do, and that's what I'm hoping that y'all do. That's what I'm hoping, even if it doesn't exactly play out just like that. Kids see the opportunity of, I thought you said a key thing in there, right? Growing up. Dylan actually said that he came on this show his freshman year. And he talked about the maturity thing. And I think there's a lot to that. Just down the street, Blaze Jordan played DeSoto Central. He got drafted by the Red Sox. He wasn't even 18 years old yet. I was scared to death for the kid. Luckily, it's worked out for him. But all of a sudden you got to leave mom and dad. He didn't go the college route. He even reclassified and missed his junior year. So, I mean, this kid skipped a year of high school and now all of a sudden he's a pro. And I thought, man, like that's got to be intimidating. But you never want to miss out on the opportunity to maybe grow up, mature. Obviously, he had life altering money, which is the thing that you spoke of, right? It really depends on if somebody throws. He got $2.7 million offered. It's a little different. So.
Yeah.
Um, but you just got done playing at Minute Maid Park. I talked to you before we came on air. I was there 2 years ago. It didn't go that well for LSU, minus the walk off for Jordan Thompson, which was elite, man. I didn't even know Jordan Thompson could hit one like that. But your team is 11-1. You just beat Texas, Texas State, and UL. In a pro baseball stadium. What was it like getting to play there, and how good did it feel getting the 3 wins?
Well, I think I said this earlier in to some local media in Baton Rouge. No kid, when they're talking about dreaming of playing baseball, wants to play in front of 200 people. And so when you have the opportunity to go play in front of 25, 30,000 people, big league stadium, lights are on. I mean, that fires you up. Like I know me, the second I walked on the field, I was like, dude, this is awesome. Like this is what people dream of doing, and we had the chance to go do it. And I think collectively the whole team kind of felt that way. and use it to our advantage. Like we got to go out there and compete our asses off, like and win and have fun. It was
Mhm.
like it's really the competitive nature of wanting the best for each other, especially on an environment like that, stage like that. It's hard to beat that, and I think that's why Coach Johnson loves playing there so much. And
Yeah.
then our fans travel well. It's almost like we're in Alex Box Stadium at Minute Maid Park, and it's incredible. There's really no way to describe it.
Yeah, no, it's all about getting the right teams to be there. You said it right. I was going to say it because going back to Globe Life, 3 years ago, they had Mississippi State, Ole Miss, Arkansas, and then they had Texas Tech, TCU, Texas, and that thing was ridiculous. You had six top 10 teams, it was packed out. I told you about Shriners 2 years ago when I went. Last year went to Globe Life and Shriners, and then this year I made it to Arlington for the college baseball showdown at Globe Life. And watching Hagen Smith, like in that very crowd you're talking about, absolutely shove, striking out 17 of batters in just 6 innings. And then the next night, watching Oklahoma State walk it off in the 14th inning. And the place, like you're saying, is packed. And it's so good for college baseball, man. A lot of people don't like it there, but I think those people haven't been there, Jake, to see what you're talking about. Going and seeing LSU play in Minute Maid, yes, Alex Box is king. Like that's where you want to go. But like they need to see you guys play in that stadium and see all the other fan bases there. And it has a smaller Omaha feel. It's not smaller in the sense of the crowd, but it's not 8 teams there. I guess that's what I'm saying. But it's definitely cool. And for you, man, it's kind of setting up for the future. The obviously the goal is to play in the pros, and playing at Minute Maid kind of gives you that feel of playing in that pro park.
Right? Yeah, you hit the nail on the head, especially with it almost being like Omaha. Like you're not going to know what to do once you get to Omaha if you haven't experienced something like that before. And I think playing in Minute Maid, playing in front of not only our huge fan bases, but Texas brings great fans. ULL brings great fans. Texas State had good fans. It's a great atmosphere for baseball and really everybody that's involved.
A clip that went viral told me that it's y'all state. Just to be clear.
Yeah.
Gavin Guidry, boy, I love it. Hey, I love the fire.
Yeah, he's the man. It's when he's pitching, you get fired up playing behind him.
And it's funny because he's just like 90% of the guys I interview on here. Like, in between the lines, you get a fire and a passion that's different than normal guys. So we held a meet and greet event with him, and he was the most calm and cool guy. And it's opposite of what you see on the field. And so many guys are like that. I mean, because you have to, right? Especially a closer, right? You can't come out there with a lackadaisical mentality. You got to come out there with a killer instinct.
Right. Yeah, that's a guy that wants to win the baseball game very badly, and that's why he does so good for us.
Yeah, so you this year batting 333 on the season yet. My biggest thing I got with you, Braid Jobert was my favorite player. He's my guy. He left. I said, you know what? I'm gonna be okay because Jake Brown's coming in. You got no bombs yet, Jake. What are you doing to me here, man? Where's the bombs?
They're coming for sure. They're on the way.
Well, I'll tell you when you can do them. I am going to be there when y'all play Mississippi State. My son is actually a Mississippi State fan. He actually lost a bet to me. I'm trying to decide if I'm going to make him wear purple and gold or if I'm gonna let him get away with wearing a maroon. But you talk about atmosphere, it is going to be sold out. Mississippi State undoubtedly considers LSU their rival even more than Ole Miss, and a lot of that's because if you go back before the last 2 years, it always was LSU, Mississippi State at the top. It was even before it was Arkansas. They're really the two that spearheaded that. You go back to the Ron Polk days with Mississippi State, and so I expect 15,000 plus there, each game. So how excited are you to go in that environment? Especially not just go there, but come out with wins and really showcase, what you got, what the team has in that environment.
Oh, I'm excited. There's another level to SEC play. Um, Obviously worried about the games in front of us right now to get there, but everybody has a feeling like, yeah, we're ready to get there. We're ready to play the best of the best, ready to compete, and ready to win.
Yeah, no, you got the games in front of you. Obviously, got midweek tomorrow. I usually actually make military appreciation. When y'all have that, which is this upcoming weekend. I'm actually going to go over to. I was told, and maybe you can speak to this, being a Louisiana guy. Being that I cover baseball all around the country, I was told I need to go over to Ruston and go to the La Tech Southern Miss Series because they absolutely hate each other, and it's going to be electric. Is that true?
Yeah, there's definitely a good rivalry between those two teams, and LA Tech, man, they've been bringing it the last
They
couple of
haven't
years.
lost yet. They haven't lost yet this year. They got the longest win streak in the nation.
Yeah, they've been bringing it, so I'm excited to see how that one plays out.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna go just for man, sign me. I have no dog in the fight. I get a hostile environment, and then I'll be cheering on LSU the next week in Mississippi State in that hostile environment. But man,
100%.
let's play a game called This or That. Trying to get a lighthearted side of you. You down to play?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, man. This or That is brought to you by Chinook Seedery. Obviously, LSU is got Chinook seeds in the dugout. So I ask you, Jake Brown, what is your favorite flavor?
It's hard to say. I think I got to go old fashioned. Just go with barbecue.
You can't go wrong with barbecue. Typically with LSU guys, and I think it's Paul Skeen's fault. He started it. Everybody always says parm and pepper, but I will say Ty Floyd, for as much as him being my boy, he came on here and said dill pickle. Anybody ever says dill pickle again, I'm cutting the whole thing off. That's
I
the one
can't
seed
get
I can't endorse. Yeah, I can't get behind pickle.
behind it.
All right, so let's get into it. I give you two options. You choose one or the other. Just can't say neither. Can't say both. Chicken or beef tacos.
Chicken,
You like them hard or soft?
soft.
Correct answer on both. I'm with you. All right, weird
Yeah.
question, but it's fun. We have fun with it. Liquid soap or bar soap?
Liquid soap.
Liquid soap don't even clean 50% of your body, right?
I know that now.
Nah, I made that up, but that's the reason I do that question. You're good. You're good. Uh, all right. Uh, man, I put this wrong question on here. Purple or gold uniform?
Ooh, love the tradition behind gold, but I got to go purple.
All right. What is more fun, hitting a home run or striking out the side?
Hitting a home run.
Hmm. I don't know. Usually guys who do both always like striking out the side.
There's no feeling like a trot around the bases.
All right, so let me ask you this then. All right, what's better, hitting a home run or robbing a home run?
Hitting a home run.
Oh man, you don't like climbing the wall?
I do. And funny enough, we were just talking about Gavin Guidry. It might have been my sophomore year of high school. Robbed one of Gavin Guidry's balls, so I remember that. But
Oh, you're
I
gonna be able to hold that over him for life.
oh yeah, 100%. But I think the home run trot, losing a ball, it's awesome, especially
Yeah,
at the box. Haven't done it yet, but I'm ready to hear the Tiger chant after I do.
there you go. I got a good story for you. Appreciate it because Drew Bianca is the one involved. Obviously played at LSU for 4 years, but we had him on here, and I got a kid that played down the street, DeSoto Central with Blaze Jordan, like I was talking about. Played with a whole bunch of SEC players, but he never got past Mississippi JUCO. But hey, he had his one moment in the Mississippi North half to advance to the championship. He robbed a home run of Bianco, and because I was there and I remembered it, I asked Drew, and he goes, "Yeah, man, whatever happened to that kid?" I said, "He didn't make it past JUCO." He's like, "Well, he got the best of me," and I said, "Hey, you know what? The kid's name is Dylan." I said, "You got that to hang your hat on. I mean, you had Drew out there playing for LSU, and I bet every time that he watched him on TV, thought, you know what, man, I took his stuff in advance to the championship."
Oh yeah, 100%. That's awesome.
All right, costume party or pool party?
Uh, Costume party.
Okay. Been a while. You used to be a popular answer for whatever reason. It's been pool party a lot lately. What would you dress up as if there was a costume party this weekend?
This weekend. Actually, I just went and watched the new Dune movie, and so that's kind of fresh on my mind. So I think if I went Paul Atreides,
There
that'd
you
be a good
go.
look.
Look at that. Staying up to time's gonna come out for the new movie. All right. Lost in a jungle at night or trapped in a haunted house?
Ooh. Lost in a jungle at night. I think I could fight my way out. Hopefully.
You realize Mike isn't caged in that jungle. It's not like on LSU campus where he got his habitat. His habitat is gonna be where you walking around.
Yeah, I know that, but I feel like if I'm trapped in a haunted house, there's absolutely nothing I can do.
So there is no good answer. We change it every year. Last year, and we had fun listening to everybody. It was, would you rather fight a grizzly bear or a tiger? And so basically the premise is both answers in the question suck. It's just which one would you rather do? So obviously,
Yeah.
being in a jungle at night or a haunted house both suck. But which is your preference?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to try to thug it out in the jungle.
All right. That then switches to the answer where, or the question where you have two good things to choose from. Would you rather have a private yacht or a private jet?
Me and my dad actually got into this argument not long ago. I think he said private jet. No, he said private yacht, and the only thing I could think of was how often does sitting in the airport suck? Like especially with how much we've traveled in the past,
Right.
I feel like you have to go private jet.
Yeah, I mean, if you got a lot of places to travel, the jet's the answer. I'm a, like I said, I was in the Navy. I'm a water. I picked it on purpose. I like being out on the water. Give me a yacht, and I just, man, sail and take my sweet time to wherever my destination is. But yeah, you got a lot of places to go. Private jet's the way. Last
Right.
question, the money question. Would you rather be the number one overall pick and get a $10 million sign-in bonus, or win the national championship?
Win the national championship.
See, Jake, I'm not even gonna try to convince you on this because I'm gonna tell you, we had Paul on before the season. We had Paul on our other show called Pros and Joes. I got to ask him this question again after he had just got signed with the number one pick and almost $10 million, and he said he'd give them both back and keep his national championship. So I can't even argue this question. I used to try to argue and tell people how much $10 million was and how much it meant, and then when I had a guy literally tell me he'd give it back for the championship, I'm like, what do I got to go on now?
I think that could be a staple as to why last year's team was so good when your best guy is willing to sacrifice that for the
Yeah.
team.
Well,
That's
and
something.
they always talk about it. It's never about the hardware. It's not the ring. It's not the trophy. It's the memories from you and the guys. You grinded from the fall, even in the summer, all the way through to the time that y'all dogpile. And there's so much blood, sweat, and tears in those memories. You can't replace it. You were just talking about it in high school. The 4 years you put in with those guys, and the same thing you're looking forward to with this LSU group. And man, when you go through, and especially, man, when you play into Omaha and into June, that's a long season, and
Oh
when you
yeah.
put in that much time with your boys and it comes out with you on top, it don't get better.
Right. Yeah. It's got to be the best feeling in the world.
No doubt. Well, you're gonna feel it soon enough. Look, my pick. Here's what I'm saying. I picked Wake Forest because I have to pick a team every year preseason. I'm actually batting 1,000. I picked Mississippi State, Ole Miss, and LSU in succession preseason on air and on Twitter. Got the receipts. So I'm perfect right now. I picked Wake Forest. I got asked, would I rather be right or LSU win a championship? I looked at the guy who asked me that. I was like, is that a real question? I want LSU to win it all. I'll take that L. What kind of question was
Right.
that? So
Sure.
feel free for y'all to make me wrong, but y'all are the only acceptable way.
Oh, I promise you, after we win it, you'll be getting a text.
Hey, that's fine by me. I'll take it all day. Before I let you out of here, man, anything you want to plug or promote? Do you have any NIL deals, nonprofit? Which, hey, man, you know what? I'd be remiss if I didn't bring that up. I saw it when I read your SID page, man. Shout out to you. I saw that you do a lot of volunteer work, especially in high school, man. I love outstanding character. I hate that I actually forgot to mention that. So shout out to you on that. But do you have anything you want to plug or promote?
I don't have anything in Baton Rouge to promote, but definitely if anybody has time, the Awesome Association on Facebook is a group for it's a non-violent or nonprofit voluntary baseball and soccer league for children with disabilities. And I spent a lot of time in high school, like really going to those events, giving money to them. And it's an awesome organization. So if anybody can check that out, feel free to donate money. Y'all can get in contact with me on Instagram, Twitter, whatever, and I'd be more than happy to send y'all their way.
What is your Instagram handle so they know?
My Instagram handle is just at Jake Brown, just my name, and Twitter is at Jake Brown underscore 14.
So he made it easy enough. If you can't figure out how to spell Jake Brown, I can't help you. But check him out on
Right.
Instagram. Help out a good cause. I love you promoting this. If you want to see what him and the guys got going on, also go to Instagram, LSU Baseball, simple enough. Man, it's gonna be a fun season. Keep grinding, stay healthy. And I will see you soon enough.
Sir, absolutely. Thank you. And I look forward to staying in touch.
Absolutely. That's Jake Brown, everybody. If you like hearing his story or you just like hearing the average Joes talk X's and O's, please like and share the podcast on Facebook, retweet us on Twitter, listen and subscribe on Apple, Spotify, and Anchor. As always, ratings, comments, hugs, love, feedback, all that good stuff is welcome. We'll see everyone back tomorrow, episode 37, with our man Grant Nip from Campbell Baseball. He is absolutely red hot. We're going to get his story. But in the meantime, remember, strong body, sharp minds, grit and grind all the time. We are out.